National Electrical Code Section 404.4D3 addresses the minimum clear working space for appliances that require servicing. This section mandates that a clear working space of at least 36 inches, which translates to 914 millimeters in width, and at least 30 inches, or 762 millimeters in depth, must be provided in front of electrical equipment that requires servicing. The primary intent of this code provision is to ensure that electrical workers have sufficient space to safely and effectively access, inspect, maintain, and repair electrical equipment. The requirement for a clear working space isn't merely a suggestion. It's a fundamental safety standard designed to mitigate the risks associated with working on or near energized electrical components. Electrical panels, including a 100-amp panel, fall under the category of equipment requiring servicing. They house circuit breakers, wiring connections, and other components that may need periodic inspection, testing, or replacement. Therefore, the NEC stipulates that a clear working space must be maintained in front of these panels to allow for safe and unobstructed access. The dimensions of the required working space, 36 inches wide and 30 inches deep, are not arbitrary. They are based on the physical space needed for an electrician to comfortably and safely perform various tasks, such as opening the panel door, using test equipment, manipulating wires, and replacing components. The width requirement of 36 inches ensures that the electrician has enough lateral movement to access different parts of the panel without being obstructed. The depth requirement of 30 inches provides enough room for the electrician to stand or kneel comfortably while working on the panel and to safely maneuver tools and equipment. The presence of a deep sink near an electrical panel can potentially compromise the required clear working space. If the sink is located too close to the panel, it may encroach upon the 36-inch wide and 30-inch deep area that the NEC mandates must be kept clear. This can create a hazardous situation for electricians who may need to work on the panel. Firstly, the sink itself may physically obstruct access to the panel, making it difficult to open the panel door or to reach certain components. Secondly, the presence of water near electrical equipment is inherently dangerous. Water is a conductor of electricity, and if it comes into contact with energized components, it can create a shock hazard for anyone in the vicinity. The NEC requirement for a clear working space helps to minimize the risk of water exposure by providing a buffer zone between the electrical panel and any nearby water sources. Thirdly, the NEC also addresses the concept of dedicated equipment space in Section 110.26c. While this section primarily focuses on the space above and below electrical equipment, it reinforces the idea that the area around electrical equipment should be kept clear of obstructions to facilitate safe and effective servicing. The specific wording of NEC Section 404.4D3 emphasizes the importance of providing access for both access to and maintenance of the electrical components. This means that the clear working space should not only be sufficient for initially installing the panel, but also for performing any necessary maintenance or repairs throughout the panel's lifespan. To ensure compliance with the NEC, it's crucial to carefully consider the placement of electrical panels in relation to any nearby sinks or other potential obstructions. The 36-inch wide and 30-inch deep clear working space must be maintained at all times, and any objects that could potentially encroach upon this space should be relocated or removed. It's also important to remember that the NEC is a minimum standard. In some cases, it may be prudent to provide even more working space than the code requires, especially if the panel is located in a confined or difficult access area. Consulting with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector is always recommended when planning the installation of an electrical panel, particularly in situations where space is limited or where there are potential obstructions nearby. These professionals can assess the specific site conditions and provide guidance on how to ensure compliance with the NEC and other applicable safety standards. In summary, the minimum distance that a 100-amp panel can be installed from a deep sink is dictated by the NEC requirement for a clear working space. This space must be at least 36 inches wide and 30 inches deep, and it must be kept clear of any obstructions that could impede access to or maintenance of the panel. By adhering to these guidelines, you can help to ensure the safety of electrical workers and prevent potential electrical hazards.